This is what America looks like. Show me what America looks like. This is what America looks like. Show me what America looks like. This is what America looks like. Show me what America looks like.
I am an American. I came here to this country when I was 35, and now I'm 75. I'm retired. I was walking by Fifth Avenue, passing Trump Tower over there, and there is a small demonstration, about 20 people, Trump supporters, and I am with my sign that it's not my president. Their leader stopped me, and she said, tell me at least one reason why you hate him. And I said, I do not hate him. He hates all of us. And she said, then you should go back to your country. I said, this is my country. I'm an American. She said, no, you're not. You speak with an accent. I was so shocked. I left. I could have thought of a million things to tell her in response.
This is what America looks like. Show me what America looks like. This is what America looks like. Show me what America looks like. This is,
you know, but I was so shocked. I just left. You know, she did not speak with an accent, but she apparently looked like of Italian descent or something like this. I should have asked her whether her grandparents came here to this country or her parents. Well, apparently she is not Native American, who is the only people who can claim this country as their own. The rest of us are immigrants. So, oh, and then she also added, when I was already leaving, she said, well, America is no longer the country you came to. America changed. And I said, I just turned around and I said, no, it didn't. It's the same country.
show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy.
So that's the sad truth, that even in New York, we have people like this.
I'm out here with refusefascism.org to say clearly to the world the Trump-Pence regime is illegitimate. It's illegitimate because it's fascist, and it must be driven from power. And look, we have a responsibility to humanity. Trump has asked the CIA more than once, if we have nuclear weapons, why can't we use them? He is more dangerous than Hitler. Hitler didn't have nuclear weapons. Trump has nuclear weapons, and he's asking why can't he use them. He wants to bring back torture. He's silencing the press. He's delegitimizing the judiciary. They are out to establish an open dictatorship, relying on violence and terror to rule. They're showing us that that's where they're going with the mass roundups of the deportations, the Muslim ban. This must be stopped. The way we can stop it is this. Look, there's tens of millions of people who hate the Muslim ban, the making abortion illegal, the border wall, the moves to silence the press. We need to bring all those people together, not just to protest this or that attack, but to actually fill the streets with millions and tens of millions of people to create a political crisis like they did with Hosni Mubarak, like we did with Richard Nixon and LBJ, and drive them from office, prevent them from continuing to rule. We owe that to humanity.
Well, we're out here to reaffirm that Black Lives Matter. The police keep killing us regardless of the laws that they break. They don't go to jail. The laws that we don't break, we still get killed. So we have to reaffirm that Black Lives Matter. Since the election of this president who came into office promising basically to destroy a lot of lives, he has basically taken the spotlight, and the media has pretty much stopped acting like we exist. We had some attention in the press over the last couple of years, and we want to make sure folks don't forget that we're still here and our lives still matter.
We're fighting for justice.
We're fighting for justice.
And black liberation.
And black liberation.
And brown liberation.
And brown liberation.
Women's liberation.
And women's liberation.
And queer liberation.
And queer liberation.
Trans liberation.
And trans liberation.
And migrants liberation.
And migrant liberation.
Police still killing us every day. There have been just some horrific things that have happened recently, and some results of previous cases. Police officers in Florida who boiled a man to death were just, after 5 years, a grand jury decided that they're not going to charge them with any crime. Sometimes they wait a while like that, hope we forget of what their atrocities are, and then their partners in crime, the courts, the judges, and the district attorneys let them off. When black people and brown people get picked up and go to jail for crimes of survival sometimes, and sometimes no crime at all, just to exist. Or Marley Graham, he was just existing. He was killed in his bathroom 5 years ago. Another cop. This cop was going to be fired, we think, this past Monday. The police department allowed him to resign on Sunday. That gives him the opportunity to become a police officer in another precinct, another jurisdiction somewhere, in the state or out of the state. He has, he's a murderer, and he's still a cop, and he's probably going to kill somebody else in a different jurisdiction.
We don't need these killer cops on streets.
We don't need these killer cops on streets.
We have lots of allied organizations here. I'm going to forget some of them, so I really don't want to go through a list, but there's some I don't really want to forget. We have, for example, Shut It Down here with us. They're a major contributor to this rally. We have immigrant rights groups. We have ICE, Free New York City with us. Why Accountability is with us. I'm sure I'm forgetting a lot of other organizations. I don't know them all. I haven't been really involved in in organizing the outreach, so I'm remiss that I can't give you more information on the participating organizations.
First of all, I'm a business person, but it's more than that for me. We've got to end the policies, the current policies that are in place. They're just biased. I live in a neighborhood where if a young black man jumps the turnstile, he goes to jail. But in the same token, if a young white boy across town jumps the turnstile, he gets a ticket. So I'm here because we've got to change things, and the only way to change things is to fight. We've sat back long enough, and I am so happy that they're taking the stand that you're taking now, because we've gotten away from as they used to say, taking it to the streets. I'm 58 years old. I go to every march and every rally. My father, my grandmother were all activists. My feet hurt. I'm tired of marching for the same things. So that's why I'm here. You can't be an island. Those days are over, which is why we haven't gotten any further than we have. We've got to accept the fact that we're going to have to work with white folks. Because guess what? Look around you. They're here. Every rally I go to, I hear white people yelling, Black Lives Matter. What can white people do? So we can't be separatists. And I noticed that some of our organizations, they want to be separatists. You can't be an island. Okay, we have to help one another. We defeated the health care bill. That was defeated strictly and solely because people came out and protested. We let the Republicans know we're not having it. And we will let you, you're gonna hear about it come election time. That wasn't 2 people, that was millions of people from every walk of life. And again, I've said this on I don't even know how many countless television stations. Thank you, Donald Trump, because you've done more to unify this country in ways you have no idea. I stand side by side at these rallies and these protests with people who I wouldn't have given a second thought to. People who probably would have crossed the street if they saw me on a dark night. We are holding hands, okay? Unlike your people who, if you're not one of them, you're afraid for your life. So I can say that, thank you, because you don't realize it, but you're doing a lot more good than you intended.
Black lives do matter. Y'all have a nice damn day.
I am part of a generation of workers who fought to unionize Babeland in an effort to solidify our rights and be heard. As a worker who's been met with opposition while pursuing respect, I've realized that exercising the right to be heard has been an uphill but invaluable battle. To have endured the violence involved with silencing the voices of workers, part of a marginalized population, is to have survived the moral conflict of every undervalued worker. Do I remain exploited? Do I starve? Or do I resist? This theme, while prevalent in retail, is exhibited in our everyday lives. The difference here being, instead of our work being disrespected, undervalued, and exploited, it is our lives. And so as people of color, we are forced to harmoniously ask ourselves, do we remain exploited? No. Starved for our rights?
No!
Or do we resist?
We resist!
Lying right next to the very will to survive, the answer is in every one of us. Collectively, in action, we shall prevail.
Woo! We shall prevail indeed. Can I get another one for Alex over here? Woo! Hello, New York! Oh, I'm sorry. Hello, New York! Hello, my name is Christina Pitter, and I am a proud, queer, fat babe, woman of color, and I am representing also the Babeland Workers Union here with Alexa. Ooh, oh God. Now, the sex education industry combined with retail, it is not all fun and games, let me just tell you right now. Trust that. But working for Babeland and representing the union means that we fight for our rights to be heard and to be seen in the workplace as we cultivate sex positivity and body positivity for all. And when I say for all, I mean for all races, all genders, all bodies, all humans. We celebrate all humans because we're all deserving of pleasure, but most importantly, we're all deserving of decency and respect, of being treated equally and with compassion. Unfortunately, not everyone in this country, in this world, believes that. So we must continue to resist and fight. We must continue to lift the voices of our oppressed people, especially the voices of our queer and trans people of color within the working class. We must continue to fight for intersectional truth and justice in every way we can. So we're here. We stand up. We speak up. We show up. We strike if we need to. How we almost did. Because we deserve better. Because we deserve to live. Black people deserve to live. Now let me see those fists up, way up high. And I want you to respond when I say fists up for truth. I want to hear you say fists up for justice. Fists up for truth. Fists up for justice. Fists up for truth. Fists up for justice. Fists up for truth. Fists up for justice.
We gather together to say to Donald Trump, you can try all these things, but you will not succeed. You think you can, but no, you can't. That's what we say today. Today, we recognize the truth as we know it. In this city, the greatest city of immigrants anywhere on the earth. New York City is stronger than ever, not in spite of immigrants, but because of immigrants. We have the highest number of immigrants we have had in a century in New York City. And you know what else we have? The greatest economic prosperity we've ever had in New York City. We are the safest we've ever been in New York City. Immigrants helped create the safest big city in America. Immigrants helped create today's economy with the lowest unemployment in 40 years in this city. So we're not only going to tell the truth and show the evidence that immigration is part of what makes this city great and this nation great, we're going to do more than that. We're going to stand up for immigrants. Working with the City Council, we're going to make sure that anyone unjustly faced with deportation will have the legal assistance they need to protect themselves and their family. And brothers and sisters, remember, this fight ahead, remember, we have the high ground. We have the strength. Look what happened the day after the inauguration all over this country. Hundreds of thousands here in New York City, hundreds of thousands in Washington, millions across the country, standing up in unison. Look how people are mobilizing now and taking the responsibility for their country. Our numbers are greater, our voices are stronger. And I want to conclude. I want you to help me send a message to Donald Trump. Will you help me? I need you to be loud so they can hear it in Washington, D.C. Are you ready? Everything Donald Trump wants to do, I have a simple message. No, you can't. No, you can't. No, you can't. No, you can't. No, you can't.
And we gotta stand up and fight for unions. And that means fighting for the middle class and fighting for the benefits that we all enjoy. And the reason why we are so rested is because we had the weekend off, and that's as a result of the labor movement. We gotta recognize the right to organize and all of the progress that we have made in this nation. And we will not turn the clock back on progress. And we say to Donald Trump and all of his minions that we will fight you tooth and nail against your policies in Washington as we stand up and protect the values and principles that we hold dear, because we believe in democracy, we believe in the Constitution, we believe in the three branches of government, and we will fight to ensure that Congress passes a budget that does not prioritize the rights of billion-dollar corporation, but that works for the workers of America. We, again, do not believe in profit over people, but we believe in the power of the people that comes from the ground up. And when the ground rises and rocks and shakes, then there's nothing that we cannot do. And so, we, again, have come out here on May Day to salute the power of the people and to say that we, again, support immigrants, we support refugees. We must end the raids, end this hate, this cycle of hate that continues, that the Trump administration has unleashed. We celebrate and salute the contributions of immigrants, and we salute the contributions of workers, and we will fight each and every day to protect it as we rise up and do what? Resist, resist, resist.
My name is Pierre Mitsivier. I've worked in the fast food industry in Brooklyn for the past 4 years, and I've worked also as a security guard too. First of all, I've been working in Wendy's, McDonald's, Popeyes, and now I work in Dunkin' Donuts, making the donuts. While I've worked for 3 big fast food companies that make billions of dollars in the sales, I have always struggled to get by and support myself and my family. Fighting for and winning the path to $15 in the minimum wage was a big victory. But I can't get enough hours of work at my store to support myself, my girlfriend, and our 4-year-old daughter. Most fast food workers are Black, Latino, immigrants, undocumented workers who just want to be able to plan their working time and their lives and taking care of our families. The fight for workers' rights and immigrant rights in the same fight. The fight for dignity and respect. But the Trump administration doesn't respect workers and doesn't respect immigrants. And now, I am even more worried about many of my fellow Asian workers, families and friends, neighbors, who are facing the head of the TPS. TPS stands for Temporary Protected Status. That has allowed them to stay here in the United States, as our country is still trying to rebuild after being hit by a massive earthquake, a cholera epidemic, and a hurricane. We are still rebuilding, and my Asian brothers and sisters who are here in the U.S., building their own life and sending much needed resources back home, should be allowed to stay. I urge the Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kelly to extend TPS for 50,000 Asians here working hard for their family.
I came to this country for a better way of life, like many immigrants in this country. As a distribution worker and a part of the negotiation committee, I noticed all the employers are creative in how to tell us they have no money to give to us for raises and benefits. Many of these distribution warehouses have millions of dollars in contract with high-end retail. Ralph Lauren, Versace's, and Gucci. A pair of pants from these designers costs about $1,500. Yet, they try to give us less every day. They see that we are immigrants that are willing to work hard. This company tried to take advantage of us. They know we came here to work hard because we believe in the American dream. Instead of rewarding our workers, they try every day to exploit us more. But I say enough is enough.
My name is Edison Severino, and I represent the workers, the brave men and women from Asbestos Lead and Hazardous Waste Laborers, Local 78, Ayuna. You know, I came here as an immigrant, undocumented worker when I was just 19 years of age, looking for opportunity, like so many of you. And this is indeed the greatest country on earth for opportunity for you to make it. Even if you come here with nothing, speaking no English, not speaking the language, not knowing the culture, you know that you can make this country your home. It has been like that forever. Although every group that came here was met with resistance. In the age of Trump, we see the hateful rhetoric coming from the White House. But that has always been the case. When the Irish came here, running away from the Irish famine in Ireland, they were faced with the same hateful rhetoric. Irish need not apply. Irish need not apply. When the Italians came here, also looking for the same opportunity in the battle of the boats, looking to make their lives better, they were faced with lower wages than everybody else because they spoke no English. And when workers tried to unite, to come together to form unions, they were killed by the hundreds. Today we're here commemorating one of those massacres on May 1st, May Day, a day that will live in infamy because the only country in the world that does not celebrate it as Workers' Day is the United States. What a shame. What a shame. They want to bury the real history of working people. That we had to fight, bled, and die in order to make an 8-hour day possible. Today, in the age of Trump, what do? We have to fight. We have to fight like never before. Our forefathers in the labor movement did it when they had to do it. Today is our turn. Today is our moment. It's our moment to rise. It's our moment to unite. We have a liberal city with a liberal mayor and a liberal city council. We cannot change Oklahoma. We cannot change Texas, that's for sure. But we can make sure that New York leads the way. Not only as a sanctuary city for immigrants, but as a sanctuary city for all, for working people, for mothers and fathers, for the LGBT community. So I say, Mr. Mayor, how about free tuition for New Yorkers? How about a safety bill that we make sure that 32 people don't have to die in construction jobs, in accidents? How about regulating toxins to make sure that working people that work in the environmental field go home safe after the long day of work? So let's fight, let's organize, and let's resist. Resist! Resist!
Let's make something very clear. This country was built on the backs of enslaved Africans. This country was built by immigrants. This country was built by workers. So we want to make it clear that none of us are going back to our country, because these United States of America is our country.